Hey everybody, it's Dr. V. I am back today and I'm going to do a quick, hopefully quick energy update on the Divine Love, Twin Flame connection. But I'm going to do this a little bit differently today. I just feel led to do this differently. So what I'm going to do is start out with the romance angels. I don't know about you guys, but I have been hearing a lot about major shifts happening and a lot of big energies shifting, taking place, and I'm pretty excited to see what's ahead. Today you can see that my layout's a little bit different because I am actually in the metaphysical store where I do readings once a week, and so I'm in that room instead of my usual space at my home office. So you may hear voices around. That's the people in the store. So I'm going to just get an overall lay of the land with the energies. Spirit, what are the energies between this twin flame divine love connection? Spirit, what are the overall energies between the divine love connection? Flirt. Deception. Interesting. Sorry, there's a little bit of a glare. And love yourself first. This really resonates a whole lot in the sense that I have felt this. I mean, I felt like the energies have been really heavy for the last few weeks. Excuse me while I take a sip. And just over the last, probably since Sunday, I just felt like, I just need a break. Like, I just need things to be lightened up and not be so much energy and so much work, and just getting out of that heaviness. So that's been really great. And then deception. Someone's wearing a false self mask in this relationship. So I want to pull a clarifier for that because I'm not quite sure how to read that right now. I feel like there's two scenarios. There's the one where it's like someone's like actively deceiving the other, but that feels like a very small portion. The other is that someone is wearing the false self mask, means that someone may be concealing their true feelings about what's going on. So it's like they may be pretending like everything is fine when things really aren't fine. They may be showing up like things are like they're like, I'm good, I'm fine, everything's cool, but really they're in a lot of pain. That could be what's happening. And the other piece is, the last card is like, love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. So I feel like what's happening right now is that a lot of people in this connection have really decided to lighten up the energy and are really focusing on themselves, really focusing on creating their lives the way that they want them to be, and really focusing on getting into a better place, and really feeling happy and content. So let's pull a clarifier. Spirit, can you tell me more about this deception card? What's going on with the deception card? What is the deception card pertaining to? The card that came up is forgiving and learning as a clarifier for that. So what I'm taking that to is that someone is presenting that they're a little bit further along in this journey than they really are. That they're still working on forgiving and learning, but there's still a lot of healing and past pain that needs to be released. And so if your counterpart is in a space like where they're really presenting, like, maybe on social media, if you're not in connection or you're not talking, they're really coming across like they're posting pictures where they're like, super happy, everything's awesome, everything looks great. Or if you do talk to them and they're like, yeah, everything is awesome, I'm feeling wonderful. I don't really think that that's necessarily true. I feel like there's a lot of deep sorrow and a lot of healing that's happening that maybe they're just not letting you know about right now. So I'm going to scooch that out of the way. Okay, Spirit. What's going on with the divine masculine at this time? As I said earlier, the energies have really been shifting quickly. It's interesting because like normally a reading once a week is fine, but since the beginning of March, it's really intensified. It's intensified in January with the full moons, but in March it was really intense, and I was like, wow, these energies are shifting like quickly. Like I feel like I'm on this surfboard in the middle of the ocean. They're just shifting really quickly. So that's why I'm doing this reading. Spirit, what's the overall energy with the divine masculine? Where is the divine masculine in terms of his connection with his divine feminine? This could be the one. You don't say. Oh, and flirt again. All right. Past life relationship. Bow chicka wow wow. So basically, the overall energy is that like the divine masculine has woken the F up. Okay, so he may not be completely awake, but he is waking up. So it's like signs and synchronicities and things are coming through, and he's like, finally, he can be a she can be a he. Shout out to D Boone, as he always says, you know how we rock. That literally he's waking up. Like he may not be fully awake yet. He may be resisting. He may be like not necessarily reading the signs, but like that movie Jennifer Lawrence and Silver Linings Playbook. She's like, if I'm reading the signs, and if he's reading the signs, the universe is telling him you've already met the partner that you seek. But he's also in a space where, like I said, the energy's been so heavy that the divine masculine just wants to flirt. Like no heavy conversations, no like deep soul, that he's just not there. He's just kind of like, can we please just flirt and have fun and just not have this heaviness that's around? Like, can we not? And that's really where he is in his space. He wants to flirt with his divine feminine. Like he wants to feel that energy. He wants to feel connected. He wants to feel like that honeymoon stuff again, because that's fun to feel, right? It's like when you go through the that bubble love phase with your twin flame, and then you kind of go into like now we're triggering and we're rubbing up against each other's old wounds. That's kind of sucks. So he really wants to get back to that space. But he's recognizing that this is like a past life connection. Like he's like, I've loved this person for lifetimes, even if he doesn't necessarily believe in past life relationships. He's getting really super clear that is what's happening here. And he's waking up. That's really what I'm getting from this, is that he's waking up. And so where is the divine feminine in terms of this connection? Spirit, where is the divine feminine in terms of this connection? Where is divine feminine? Divine feminine, where are divine feminines? Express your love, express yourself. So go ahead and make the romantic gesture. She's like, you deserve love. You are lovable. Yes, girl. Yes, you are. And honeymoon. I'm thinking of that song by Rihanna. Must be love on the brain. Like honeymoon energy. Like this is good. It's like she wants that. She's kind of in that space of like, I'm lovable. I know I'm lovable. She wants to express her love. She knows that she deserves love, and she really wants to have that honeymoon, the bliss again. So her energy is really in the same space too, where she's kind of like, I just want that. I want it to be more lighthearted. I want it to be not so heavy. Let's just enjoy the bliss of this. So what it feels like for me is that the divine feminine has really released attachment, that she's really, if you've been listening to the last couple of readings where I've been like, it's about letting go of attachments, letting go of expectations, and really being in this space of allowing whatever will be to be. And so it feels like she's really lightened up that energy, like has released a lot of those expectations, released some of that neediness and wanting something to be, and has just really fallen into trusting the universe. So it's really beautiful energy, guys. So let me scooch that up. Again, a very technical term. So where do I want to go with this? Okay, what's in the Divine Masculine's headspace? Keep an open mind. Trust. And romantic feelings. So in his head, he's like, you know, he can be a she can be a he. Remember that he's in his head, he's like, okay, this is not what I expected, right? Keeping an open mind, that it's like, I feel like a lot of masculines had this sort of life plan. It was like that, a 5-year plan. You know, so in like Big Daddy, Sid has a 5-year plan. Like he had a 5-year plan. He had like what he thought was his life and where it was going. And now he's like, okay, but this is different than what I was expecting. And I wasn't expecting it. And I'm not sure that, basically he's just keeping an open mind that like what he thought was going to be may not be what it is. And he's kind of trying to come to terms with that in his mind. He's trying to step into having faith. He's trying to, but you gotta have faith. I gotta have faith. So he's really stepping up into new levels of trust and faith because of the situation. Trust in himself, trust in the universe, all around. But he's like, you know what, my feelings are real and they're worth exploring. And so he's not trying to be in denial about his feelings, basically. Like, he may have tried to stifle them. He may have tried to keep them down, or he may even have tried to just harness them, right? Like, this situation may not be in alignment with what I thought I wanted my life to be for 5 years, you know, my 5-year plan. And so I'm going to try and keep it under control. But now he's really realizing that his feelings are what they are. And there's, you know, no sense in resisting. He really wants to explore those romantic feelings. So where's the masculine in his headspace currently? I mean his heart space. Sorry, universe, heart space. Heart space. Let go of control issues. He's surrendering. Yep. Forgiving and learning. He is releasing and healing the past. Really, really good. This is a really good card. So what that tells me is that he's doing his work in his heart, like literally getting into that deep stuff and doing some forgiving, learning not only about like lessons from the past, but also how his conditioning and the experiences that he's had in his past have contributed to where he is today. And he's forgiving himself and forgiving others, and he's learning and letting go. And in his heart, he's like making the effort. He really wants to make the effort in this connection. He because he's waking up and he realizes that this is special. This is a connection unlike anything that he's ever experienced, and he's willing to take the steps that he's being guided to take. So whether that is, again, doing that forgiving and healing work, releasing control, opening up to trust, he's really doing the work. And remember, feminines, that the masculine energy isn't going to look the same way that your effort is going to look. So for you, it may look like one way, and it may look like, to you, it may be like, if the masculine was really trying, he'd be doing X, Y, and Z. But he is making the effort in the way that he knows how to make the effort. So give him some space. Okay? So where is the divine feminine in her headspace? Calling in her soulmate. Yes. So continue to pray, say your affirmations, your visualizations. It's going to help bring you together. So keep doing that. That's where she is in her mental space. And yeah, second card for that. She's still a little bit of fear. There's still a little bit of fear about this, that there may not be enough attraction or chemistry to keep the relationship going. Like there's still some lingering mental fear around that he's not going to choose you, that it's not going to happen. And so you've really got to continue working on focusing on what you want instead of what you fear. Worrying is about literally like worrying about things like this is focusing and manifesting on what you don't want. So focus on this. Stay in this energy. Stay with this in your mind. This it's just a fear. And in her mind, she's like, okay, it's safe for me to love. Okay, so this fear is kind of rubbing up against this safe experience. So in your mind, there may be some mental conflict. Really work on releasing that so you can stay in this safe to love space and call in your soulmate. Where she is in her heart space. worth waiting for. So she's like, divine timing is at work in my love life, and this kind of divine, amazing connection is totally worth waiting for. And when I say wait, I am not in any way, shape, or form suggesting that you put your life on hold, okay? So like, please do not do that. Like, go out and live your life. You know, go out on a date if you want to go on a date. Go hang out with your friends. Like, live your best life. Seriously, live your best life. By waiting, I don't mean necessarily, like, I don't at all want you to be like sitting there watching Netflix and waiting for your divine masculine to call. Not even close. Like, get out there and live your life and do you. Seriously, just do you. And recognize that if divine timing is at work in your love life, that when it's time to happen, when it's time to come together, if that is in your best good and your divine masculine's best good, then it's going to happen no matter what. In the meantime, you keep living your life, you keep doing your thing, you keep shining, keep your glow up, and so it doesn't necessarily, you can do whatever you want, really. Like, you can have a karmic partner if you want to in the meantime, or you can hold off and wait for your masculine to come around. It really is up to you, but the fact of the matter is that in your heart you know that this connection is totally worth waiting for. And by waiting, again, I don't mean living your life on hold. I mean like holding space for divine timing to happen. And in her heart, she's healing family issues too. So she's doing her own, look, he's forgiving, she's forgiving. They're doing their work to come together. That's beautiful in their heart. And in her heart, reconciliation. She knows he's coming back. She knows he's coming back. It's that movie. What's that movie? The Notebook. It's not over. It's still not over. Literally, that's where she is. She's like, I know that this is coming back together. I don't know when it's coming back together, but I know it is. And she's in this space of like doing her work in her own healing in her heart, recognizing that this is coming back. It's going to come back around, and that it's worth waiting for. Love it. Love it. Love it. I keep feeling this sense of, as we release and let go and release and let go, that it keeps like actually moving the connection faster and faster in the direction that we want it to, toward union and coming together. So that's really exciting. So I want to pull some cards. I'm just going to pull some randos from the Divine Feminine and Masculine Reunited. I'm not going to pull them according to, I'm just going to pull what feels right. Okay, cupcake. Because it's important today. Alrighty then. The first card that wants to come out is Openness. Stay open. Open, open, open. Unconditional love is the next card. Spirit saying 3. And energy. Energy is, it's so beautiful. So basically what's happening right now is this like openness. So you guys have to understand that this particular deck has 4 different, they have the divine masculine, divine feminine, the shadow side, and the light side. And so you saw I just randomly pulled and they were all light cards, which is really positive. So what that says to me is that a lot of people have moved out of this like dark night of the soul space and have moved into, higher vibrations, living in this unconditional love. So I'm going to read this. It says, unconditional love is often misrepresented in the spiritual community. Contrary to what now seems to be a commonly adopted belief, unconditional love has less to do with allowing poor behavior and more about not having expectations or controlling another. This confusion causes people to allow their beloved or other loved ones to treat them in a way that does not serve them in the name of loving without conditions. When you recognize a deep soul connection with another, it can be easy to fall into the trap of keeping them in your life regardless of how they treat you. Here's the thing about unconditional love. It is actually very simple. It is accepting someone for the exact person they are in this moment, understanding them and why they behave in certain ways. It is loving them for the soul they are without any changes, conditions, and controlling them. Most importantly, unconditional love starts with being a warrior for yourself and asserting your boundaries and knowing when it's best to love someone from afar. Respecting their free will, loving them without having conditions on them being with you or expectations for what they need to do. Just like the couple depicted on this card, they will enforce boundaries, but also love their children no matter what path they choose to walk. Perfect. That is beautiful, guys. Seriously, like this is so freaking beautiful. Like moving into this genuine unconditional love space, where you really have released expectations, that letting go that we've talked about, the surrendering, really just like, look, I love you as you are on the way to where you're going, and whatever that means for you, like you're free to choose your own path. You can, as the Fleetwood Mac song says, you can go your own way. Like, I love you enough to let you choose your own path and to not tell you what you need to do or try to control in this situation. That is true love. I actually said that to my counterpart recently. I said, what is love without freedom? And I really meant it. Like, I really believe that. Like, if I love you, I'm going to give you the freedom to choose your own path and make your own way, even if it means that path takes you away from me, if that's what you feel like you need to do in the present time, because freedom and love in my world, in my mind and my soul, are completely intertwined. So the next card is openness. Many people in this world do not have an open heart. It can be very scary to open our heart when we are scared of being rejected or abandoned. The sad thing is that a closed down heart leads to pain anyway, so why not open up to the possibilities? How can we open our heart when we know that the love can go away? Heartbreak can come sweeping in, removing any debris and heart wall. It can be like an anvil cracking open your heart. After experiencing loss, it can feel easier to decide to never allow yourself to be vulnerable again. It can be easy to say, that's it, I'm never opening my heart again, because you know what loss feels like. But if you can go through heartbreak and allow yourself to feel the pain and allow you to break down all the barriers against your heart, if you continue to be loving and open, then you have just opened your heart wide open. You have just ripped your heart wide open. That is so courageous. The key to openness is to know that having an open heart is not related to waiting until you are not going to be broken, but keeping it open regardless of the fact that it may not last. Knowing that if you are left feeling alone or rejected, you will still be okay. Okay, so this is like, look, y'all, we don't know the outcome, right? I mean, seriously, we don't know the outcome of anything. It's like any of us, we like to have these like false illusions of assurance. Like we're gonna, like we get tarot readings or we get intuitive readings, and it's like we want a prediction. We want someone to tell us what's gonna happen. And the reality is it's all energy and we have free will. Energy shifts pretty rapidly, and it's shifting really rapidly right now. But the fact of the matter is that this is about learning to stay open. And it's like, you know what? You're going to be fine regardless of what happens. Like, if your heart gets broken, it gets broken. I mean, I've been through some gnarly heartbreaks in my life. Like, seriously, like, you know, wanting to, like, crawl under a rock and never come out type heartbreaks. But you know what? I got over it. I healed. I healed myself. I did the work. I transmuted that energy, and I learned to continue to live with an open heart. And even when, you know, that's where the courage is like, can you face loss and still keep your heart open? That's the magic. Okay, this is the magic that we're really learning right now, is staying open. It's like, if you close down just because you think that your counterpart isn't going to come back, then you're not really living in unconditional love. So really learn to be in that space, keeping your heart open no matter what happens. So the next card is energy. Energy is everything. Everything is energy. Consciously working on keeping your mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual bodies clear and functioning can make all the difference in your life. Benefits from getting a regular tune-up include, but are not limited to, jumping to higher timelines, better physical and emotional health, easier manifestation, and better functioning relationships. Energy works in 3 stages: blocked, integrating, and flowing. It's important to become familiar with your own unique cycles and learn to differentiate between the stages to know best what to bring into your life at any given time. Indicators that your energy field is blocked include stagnation, stuck, frustration, numbness, dullness, depression, hopelessness, physical pain, or mental sluggishness. Once that energy has been shifted, a state of integration occurs. Indicators are hibernation, social reclusiveness, sleep, nurturing, rest, downtime, regeneration. And once that energy has been integrated through rest and nourishment, it's time to reap the rewards and cycle through rewards of the cycle of death and rebirth through a flowing phase of energy. That includes energetic, hopeful, vitality, joy, vigor, movement, and clarity. So right now you guys we're all processing energy, big energies. This is not small energies. Like this is old cycles are ending, new energies are coming in. We're integrating, we're purging. There's a lot going on. So I don't know if you guys have had trouble sleeping or what's been going on, but really going with the flow and allowing the energy to continue to flow, and recognize that as you heal, do your own healing as a twin flame or a divine counterpart, that as you heal, you also help your counterpart to heal. So continue doing that amazing work. Good job, guys. I mean, it really feels like a lot of big forward progress this week. The energy has been, at least in my connection, has shifted tremendously over the last week. Like it felt very heavy and intense last week. There's just a lot happening last week that felt big and heavy, and this week it's completely different. It's lighter. I feel, like I said in my video last night, like I feel amazing. Like I just feel great. I feel good. I'm not feeling like terribly burdened about, I'm not even thinking about the outcome. I've really surrendered and released, and I'm just like, whatever, like my life is awesome. Business is growing. Things are going really well in my life, and like I'm good either way. Like it'd be great if it came together, but if it doesn't, I'm still good. Like I still have an amazing life, and things are still going to continue to be awesome regardless of what happens there. And so having let go and released the energy of expectation and desire and all of that, it's like everything is lightened up and the connection feels better, and it's just, all around. So it's interesting because we think that like holding on is important, but the truth of the matter is that real transformation comes when you let go. Put that in your pipe and smoke it, right? I mean, seriously, like it's so paradoxical. It's like we think that not having boundaries is going to make people love us more because we're not placing, limits on them. If we just accept them, then they'll like love us completely. What's interesting is that when you put boundaries, when you don't have boundaries, people just tend to take advantage of you, don't appreciate you. But when you do have boundaries, it's like then people suddenly are like, they rise to the standard. It's interesting. So it's like it's paradoxical. Anyway, final message from the universe about this connection in this present time. What you got for us, universe? Pachamama in reverse. The ancient wands. Oh yeah. Final, the smoky mirror in reverse. Let's see what these cards are all about. It's interesting because I did a reading for somebody here in the store earlier, and Pachamama came out then too. So I'm finding it very interesting that the energies are really repeating right now. So in reverse, this is, okay, hold on. The essence. Pachamama represents the unconditional love that the earth has for all her children, including the stones, the plants, the animals, and humans. She is a goddess of the earth, known as Gaia, who pervades all creation on our planet. Thanks to Pachamama, our timeless soul can experience life in a biological body. The joy and pain we taste during our brief time on earth are invitations to discover the boundless love. So it says, because it's in reverse, the medicine for this card, so this is like the lesson of this card is, you still believe that you have been cast out of the Garden of Eden, that you are motherless or homeless. You suppose you need to work very hard to survive or thrive. It's time to stop suffering. Let go of that old myth and realize that you were given the garden to rejoice in and to become its steward. Your melancholy is really a longing to return to the heart of Pachamama. Listen deeply to the mother who is always there for you. Walk in beauty and honor all life. So how I'm taking this is like some of you are still feeling a sense of separation. Like you're feeling like, if my divine union doesn't come to pass, then like I'm incomplete, or like what does that mean, or I'm not whole. You feel homeless, right? Because it's like your soul feels at home with your divine counterpart. So if your divine counterpart isn't present, you feel like you're missing something. So this is saying like, look, it's time to let go of that. You can be whole in whatever situation that you're in. You're not alone. You're not helpless. You're not, you're not motherless or homeless is what the card is saying. So it's like, look, get back in touch with that divine feminine within you, okay? And recognize that what you're missing is a call back to the divine, not necessarily. So if you feel that longing for your divine counterpart, really recognize that's a longing to return home, which is to return to unity with divine love first, and then to your counterpart. And if your counterpart never manifests, then you are still in divine union with yourself and with your inner masculine and feminine. So this card is the Ancient Ones. This is the first card. It's like, obviously, number one suggests new beginning, and says the Ancient Ones are the shamans of old who defeated death and escaped the tyranny of time. The Ancient Ones once walked the earth like us in flesh and bone. Now they reside in infinity and can counsel us. As after we say yes to our calling, they are available to help us attain our full realization. This is speaking to me of like the ascended masters and like the ancestors that go before us. Yes. So, this is saying the Ancient Ones are inviting you to reach to the future to help birth a new destiny for the earth. Literally what we're called to, like raising the vibration, shifting the paradigm of love. Go ahead, find out who you're becoming 10,000 years from now. If you accept the invitation, great power and blessings will come your way and allow you to craft a new destiny for yourself. Do not hesitate to bite off more than you can chew, because you have unlimited spiritual resources right now. Guys, seriously, this is like, call on the Ascended Masters, call on the spiritual, ask them to show you your mission. What are you supposed to be doing? And really rely in that energy. Like, I feel like you guys have, like, we have so much energy at our disposal right now, and if we're not wielding it, we're missing the big picture. So ask that question before you go to bed tonight. Who am I going to be 10,000 years from now? And then pay attention to your dreams. So the final message is the smoky mirror in reverse. The smoky mirror represents the aspects of what is implied yet cannot be immediately known in the world, the mystery of how things come together and how they fall apart without obvious causality. This symbol also represents the shadow of the human psyche, the parts of the self that one disowns. The smoky mirror can represent a state of denial or the inability or refusal to see the truth. So it's in reverse. So the medicine is understanding the shadow of the human journey. It requires that you go deep into your story to discover the wound that prevents you from seeing the truth of your current situation. Your fears and expectations of disappointment and unworthiness may be clouding your capacity to see the potential in yourself and others. The smoky mirror may be showing you things you don't want as a result of your conditioning. These can become even more real, but only because you're making it so. The choice is yours. The world will hold you accountable for what you see and create. Can you see through a lens of faith and trust instead? So this is literally about minding your thoughts, guys. It's about minding the energy that you're sending out. As I said earlier, like, worrying is just manifesting what you don't want to have happen. So it's literally about staying in that state of faith, right? Calling in your soulmate, instead of worrying about unrequited love. Being in that space of intentionality, really monitoring your vibes and the energy that you're sending out, the words that you're saying, the thoughts that you're thinking, even the thoughts that you're thinking towards your divine counterpart. So one of the things is that I've been consciously doing is really like speaking to the divine in my counterpart. So it's like literally like, you might be like behaving in like, certain ways that I don't necessarily, agree with, or that I'm like, whatever. But I'm looking at you through the eyes of God. Like, I have literally prayed and said, like, God, let me see him through your eyes. And when I see him through God's eyes, then I see the divinity. I see the stepping into that divine masculine energy, stepping into that king energy. And so when I'm speaking to my counterpart, whether it's in person or in the spirit realm, it's literally about speaking to the divinity. It's like I'm speaking to who you are meant to be, not who you have, become based on life's experiences. Not that there's anything wrong with like version either. I mean, that version is amazing, but I'm saying like, on this path to divinity, it's literally about creating our own reality. And it's like, you can sit here and be like, my divine counterpart is being, you know, X, Y, and Z right now, and whatever. And we can speak negatively, we can speak darkness, we can speak all of that over the situation, or we can speak life and positivity and potential. So this is all about, like, you know, what are you creating by your thoughts and your words and the energies that you're putting out in the world? And if you don't like what you're seeing mirrored around you, then, you know, it's time to start changing how you're speaking and how you're, what you're putting out. Because we are truly manifesting our destinies right now. Like, we have so much energy at our disposal that we can manifest pretty much whatever we want. If we're not mindful about the thoughts that we're putting out there, we're going to manifest some things that we don't want, because that's just how powerful the energies are. So I hope that this was useful and beneficial for you. I hope you're all having a great week. Please feel free to comment, ask any questions below. Reach out to me if you have any questions or you want to do a private reading. I do have some time available coming up to do some private readings. So yeah, I hope you're all doing well, and I will talk with you soon. Bye-bye.